Today on DC News Now, a devastating house fire leaves 2 dead and 1 child in critical condition. The latest information from the scene. Sunny skies continue, but we're tracking a warm-up and rain. When you can expect a weather change. Stretching your dollar. Don't miss our weekly price check on your grocery essentials. James Wood! Moco native James Wood is a hit, recapping his Major League Baseball debut. And a new law makes it so you'll know the salary of a job you apply for in the district. What that means for both employers and employees.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for the news at noon. I'm Mark Hall. Developing news out of Prince George's County, where firefighters say 2 people are dead and a child is in critical condition after smoke and flames broke out at an apartment complex in Largo. DC News Now's Dave LaBalle is live at Harry area's Truman Drive. The latest information, Dave.
Good afternoon to you, Mark, on what has been an absolutely tragic day here in Largo. The fire is out at the Northampton apartment homes as investigators are now going through the remains of the building to find out what sparked this fire. Flames could be seen through the roof when Prince George's County firefighters arrived on the scene shortly before 4 o'clock this morning. Part of a stairwell collapsed. The fire happened on the 3rd floor of the building. Firefighters said a man and a woman died at the scene, while a young child went to the hospital as the last report had him listed in critical condition. Firefighters did rescue a dog inside the apartment. A neighbor told us what he remembered when he woke up to the fire.
I'd be looking around like, what's going on when I woke up? And she said, come on. She cuts on all the lights and starts packing stuff. I'm like, what's going on? She said, it's a fire. I start smelling. I'm like, oh, time out.
Well, the damage has been pretty much contained to the one building behind me. The ATF is among the agencies here on the scene trying to find out what started the fire. We're live in Largo. Dave LaValle, DC News Now.
All right, Dave, thank you. Meteorologist Damon Matson joined us with the latest check on the forecast. Damon, we're expecting a warm-up, but perhaps a break in the humidity.
Yeah, Mark, overall, I think we're just going to have to deal with those warmer temperatures. Now, for some of us out there, we're thankful that it has warmed up since earlier this morning. We had quite the crazy temperature divide. If you were across the eastern half of the DMV, it didn't really get all that chilly along and east of I-95. DC's low temperature just 66, 70 in Lexington Park, so it stayed mild, but if you went west of I-95, you needed a jacket this morning. Down to 50 degrees in Winchester. We saw some upper 40s once you went west of I-81 and in some very sheltered valleys along the Allegheny front in western Maryland, West Virginia. There was some frost this morning. That is how cold it got with a clear sky and calm winds. But that same combination here today has allowed that sunshine to warm us up ever so nicely. We're already up to 80 degrees in Martinsburg, 81 in the district, a few upper 70s hanging around as you go west, but no doubt it feels significantly warmer. And we've already reached our high temperatures from yesterday, and then later this afternoon, we should expect to see those peak readings in the mid-80s, though humidity stays low under a very sunny sky. Now, as we head toward the 4th of July holiday, just 2 days away, should we expect a lot of mugginess to be back in the air? We'll have a full look at your forecast coming up here in just a bit.
All right, Damon, thank you. Developing in Virginia, Fairfax County police are charging 2 teens in connection to the shooting that left a teenager dead and another injured. It happened late Friday night on Wadsworth Court in Annandale. Police say the victims are a 16-year-old boy and a 14-year-old boy. Both were taken to the hospital, but the 14-year-old later died because of his injuries, and the 16-year-old is recovering. Detectives say the victims were walking together in an area when a car pulled up and the people inside started shooting. Police believe that this was targeted, and they arrested 2 teens. One 15-year-old is charged with second-degree murder and firearm charges, while the second teenager, a 16-year-old, is also facing felony charges. Well, also developing now, a man is recovering this afternoon after he was stabbed on the Metro's center platform in D.C. It happened around noon yesterday, and police believe the suspect and the victim were fighting on the Red Line platform when the suspect pulled out a knife. Police say the suspect then threw a bicycle on the tracks, hitting a moving train. The suspect, we're told, now in custody, and the victim is in the hospital with critical but not life-threatening injuries. Metro says that Red Line service is back to normal. Well, in D.C., 2 suspects are accused of aiming a firework at someone during an aggravated assault. D.C. police are asking for your help to find those suspects. So take a look at your screen. It happened near Logan Circle in Northwest over the weekend. The victim was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries, and anyone with information is asked to contact police. Summer hours for D.C.'s youth curfew are now in effect, and the new schedule allows kids to stay out an hour later during July and August. Those under 17 will have to be home by 12:01 a.m. and 6 a.m. DC News Now's Daniel Hamburg has been talking with neighbors in Navy Yard about the change.
As the weather stays warm, increased crime is a concern in the district.
School's out. The kids don't have anything to do. I think it also is about implementing summer programs, making sure they do have something to do, because I mean times have changed.
Monday marks the first day of an extended curfew 7 days a week, allowing kids under 17 to stay out an hour later during the week until midnight in July and August.
Between that hour of extension, there should be something for them to do. Otherwise, the street will take them.
Last summer, after a spike in robberies and carjackings, the district launched an enhanced juvenile curfew enforcement pilot in 7 focus areas. Instead of bringing kids to the police station, they're released to the Department of Youth Rehabilitation Services. Data from September 2nd through June 24th shows 69 young people that MPD transferred to DYRS that were in violation of curfew. 45 were released to a parent or guardian. 18 were released to the Child and Family Services Agency, and 6 were released back to MPD.
You can place a curfew all day, but are people really going to follow it? I think that's really the main issue that we're seeing today is that, you know, they say it, the kids or the youth is really not getting repercussions.
Reporting for DC News Now, I'm Daniel Hamburg.
And stretching your dollar as we approach the 4th of July, Metro is celebrating the holiday with free rides and extra fast service. Metro Rail and Metro Bus will be free to ride after 5 p.m. until the system closes. Afternoon rush hour service will also be ramped up, and that's not all. WMATA says look for stars and stripes on some trains and buses through the rest of the month. Well, price checking before heading out the door will typically save consumers money, and DC News Now's weekend anchor Ben Dennis is keeping track of grocery prices so that your next trip to the supermarket may result in a lower price.
Well, there's plenty of supermarkets to shop at in the DMV. Some neighborhoods with more access than others. That's why we're consistently tracking prices at 3 of some of the more popular locations here at home. This week, we found some sizable changes to what you'll pay. You'd rather avoid whipping out your wallet when not needed, but grocery trips are certainly unavoidable for most. High prices for essentials remain. The USDA says grocery prices are expected to rise 1% through the rest of the year, but thankfully at a slower pace than recent years. Dining out, prices to go up a little more than 4%. So, what to know before you go to 3 popular supermarkets in the DMV? The price to pay for 10 pantry essentials we've identified to help you make your own shopping choices. According to lowest prices this week compared to last, Walmart's carton of 12 brown eggs rose 40 cents. Giants became 79 cents cheaper, and Safeway's carton of 12 went up $1. Wheat bread down 90 cents at Giant. A pound of ground beef got 50 cents cheaper there. The story at Safeway, avocado $1 more. A value pack of boneless pork chops increased $4.50, but 1 pound of ground beef dropped $3.50. Here's what essentials are cheapest at Walmart. Again, a majority on our shopping list, but Giant wins for brown eggs, a value pack of chicken breast per pound, and a pound of ground beef. Safeway at the back of the pack. Consider tech to help you browse. Certain apps can grant cash back for groceries like Ibotta and Fetch. And grocery rewards programs not only can get you cash back on future purchases, but also discounts at the register. Some also offer additional perks to fill up at affiliated gas stations. Ben Dennis, back to you.
The left fielder, number 50, James Wood.
Wow, Montgomery County native making the most of his big league debut with the Washington Nationals. James Wood is considered one of the best prospects in all of baseball. He would step up to the plate and waste no time making his mark on the majors. Wood lined a single to the opposite field, getting his first big league hit in his first at-bat.
Just treating it like another at-bat. I mean, obviously, like, crowd noise, the speakers were a lot better here than in Rochester too. So, but yeah, I mean, once you're kind of walking up there and getting in the box, it just sort of just feels like the same game.
Well, the Nationals will go on to lose last night's game 9-7. Meanwhile, longtime Trump ally Steve Bannon is now in federal custody. He surrendered at a federal prison to begin a 4-month sentence on contempt charges for defying a subpoena in the congressional investigation into the U.S. Capitol attack. A judge previously allowed him to stay free for nearly 2 years while he appealed his conviction, but the same judge ordered him to report to prison after an appeals court upheld that conviction.